Alright, today is June 14th, 2018. It's 2:16 a.m. right now. Roughly about 2 o'clock a.m. I was cooking a pizza. I just went out to the store, came back, and I was cooking just one of them small pizzas in the oven. Hit it on 425 degrees. I'd say 3 minutes into its cook time, it was heating up. The stove, it's electric though, basically frazzed out. Looked like somebody put aluminum foil in a microwave, and that's the type of situation that happened. That it may have burnt the stove out. I'm gonna unplug it, see if it resets something, but I don't think so, because when I looked in, I was like, what the hell? Because I thought, wait a minute, it sounds electrical, like a microwave, but there's only a pizza in there, you know? What would cause something like that? So I looked, and in reaction went to pull it open. Let me see. No, actually I didn't even pull the door open. I was afraid. And I hit the I hit the off switch on the stove. I was like I actually hit it like 3 times, like I was afraid to touch the stove because the electrical spark. But turned the spark off, like it stopped sparking. I opened up the door, and there's a big red weld, like arc weld, on the right hand side where it's coming out of the back of the stove. Almost right where the prongs connect in the back of the stove. On the right hand side, just completely red, like an arc welder just hit it. So, the reason why I'm saying this and doing this video, a lot of electronic interference. I'm not talking about jamming of cell phones, radio waves as such as that, possibly microwaves, but some type of electronic interference with anything that's electronical and even above and beyond. Stoves, refrigerators, furnaces, hot water tanks. That's household appliances. That's not cell phone type of stuff is what I'm trying to put it out as. Any electronics. Fuse box, stuff like that. Dryers, washers. We're talking about anything electrical at the least that's been interfered with. So I'm giving the date and time mine happened just right now, and I do fully believe it was some type of intent to do so, for the fact the family member that owned that stove owed my mom, is what she had said, and they took a trade on that stove. Well, these family members aren't quite right, so they believe, you have our stuff or our old stuff in your house, you should be blessed, and the toxic family member type of situation maybe that you might know of. Just trying to utilize that as some type of leverage, emotional value, weight, or I should be thankful that they was here for me. Well, you took that out on trade of money that you owe. If you gave it, per se, as a gift or just utilized, yeah, I could see giving a little bit of, goodness there. And the way I say that, it sounds crappy, but these people are not right. They're child molesters in the family. They have problems. They're homosexuals. There are all kinds of tons of other stuff. But anyways, so with that being said, I had a fight with one of them earlier today. Basically, almost fist to fist blow, but I didn't hit. The other one's deaf. He's the actual family member. His boyfriend, husband, whatever they are, also doesn't get along and is trying to dominate toxically my life and trying to make some type of, we's uncles, so we got a right to, have some type of influence in your life, even if you don't like it. If you don't like it, then we're going to basically socially press that you're unstable for yourself because you won't abide by us, and you won't keep secrets, and you won't do this, you won't cover up things that happened in the past, and you won't quit giving us grief like we're doing something wrong to you, which they did. Even since it's a childhood. Oh, well, you need to prove that. I don't need to prove shit. I already went to the system with it and talked to them. Mental health and some other law enforcement. If I don't want to deal with it, what I believe is what is belief, without completely 100% defamating them as they're doing me, of their character and their personal in the community, I should be alright. But with the defamation, if I'm trying to be serious and they've done something, I should express that to the police, and the same thing they're trying to do to me, express it to the community. Anyways, the whole point is getting off that whole deal, making a story out of that. I didn't even hit the other individual. He's deaf. I have another video coming up showing how that happened. He was banging on the door. He has a problem with banging like the police, trying to be arrogant, power dominating, and trying to be forceful about, hey, I'll tell you what to do with your life type of situation. I have other people that here that are supposedly family members. We don't get along. They're also toxic. But anyhow, trying to utilize them as access or having the ability or rights to just dominate, walk in through the door whenever they want without key, without whatever. Anyways, the door flew open. I asked them to leave. They had a problem. They're deaf also, but I know plainly I wasn't mean with them. I have the video no matter what. It's weird that that same family member is the family member that gave or traded for money value owed to another family member, my mom, which isn't here. She's in Colorado now. She travels back and forth, but that stove blows up like it's an insinuation. Power. That's right. They're also in here working with law enforcement. These law enforcement agents are freaking homosexual. It's basically homosexual organized crime. I'm not trying to condemn completely the homosexual community, but it's strange that everybody that's in contact with everybody trying to enforce the one main item is they're all homosexuals. All of them. I'm not. Oh, well, if you can't agree with it, you need to leave. Huh. If I see straight, that's basically my house after my mom leaves here. My name's on the deed now type of situation. They mix that part up too, to the point it's hard to deal with. But no matter what, power play. On top of that power play, to make to the point, there's more than just mental, emotional, systematical power play. I've had mind problems that is hard to explain, which somebody else is helping trying to prove. Electronic waves, electronic jamming, data theft, all kinds of shit. And it's not just here in this house. It's been all over the place. It's followed me. The last one of the major incidences was DC, April 1st of 2018. I'm missing, I'd say 70%, 80% of the videos and photos that I took, with proof that the system out there was being hacked. Streetlights and everything else, crosswalks. 99 seconds to get across a 20-foot street. Widthwise. 90 seconds? Average time when asked was like 20 seconds. 1 second per foot. Maybe a little extra. Definitely not, no 90, literally 90 seconds. And then streetlights changing themselves, the boxes, just weird shit happening. I was recording some of it, trying to be where I'm being threatened. Don't do that. Hey, what you doing around here? What's up with this? Well, what's up with the action going on that, shit's not proper at all. Completely obliterated anybody and their mom, Jesus Christ, would understand. But anyhow, all that information, data theft, electronic microwaves, radio waves, implants, the whole 9 yards. I'm wanting to get some help. I need financial stability. I need to make the contacts. There are some contacts that came out by themselves to help out with the situation here and there, or understand I am a real targeted individual. And severely, not just by government, social acts, and all kinds of stuff. But it's just outright the harshest thing that could happen. It's caused me to basically be mentally retarded, but that's about all I can say with that. I'm not completely can't use my hands and can't talk, but I'm very, very messed up. Thing is in DC, it's weird where I'm at. The implant that I do believe that is implanted in me, which somebody is saying the benign tumor that they found is the wiring or the marking of what they did to the pituitary gland, which can cause brain damage. That is brain damage. It's damage to the tissues. Anyways, where was I going to go with that? Just, it's jacked me up, but I do believe that implant is there. When here, where I'm at in Columbus, Ohio, it's just on full time. They're doing whatever they want to with programming, everything else. But when I went out to DC, it turned off. All of a sudden, I had good respiration. I started coming around differently, more normal, more natural, without somebody trying, even though there was people that were pushing me around. But it was easier for me to deal with, more than even just deal with. Acknowledge, start engaging with, and being like, hey, being defensive with it. Here, I'm completely like brain dead. I don't know what's up with the implants, but can't think. Just earlier today, around 11:13 a.m. and about 4 hours after, almost a lobotomized type of identical relation situation happening to me, to the point I couldn't think. Electroshock to the point of whitening out. Lady next door, which is involved, I won't give her full name, but she also was understood of being in Texas with me down in 2004 while I was hiking. She's from Colorado Springs also. There's a whole mix-up of all these guys moving out here to Ohio. I ain't been in Colorado Springs for 10 years, 11 years almost. And then even at that, I was there off and on for the last few years that I was there. But anyhow, they all moved out here to Columbus, Ohio. So the people trying to say they're standing up for their rights, their community. Well, you're standing for a community in Colorado. How are you in Columbus, Ohio, trying to do the same exact thing? Same threats, same intimidation, same force, same power. But anyways, this lady had a dog barking. Was a symptom of either a lobotomy or overly done electroshock and electroshock therapy, that you'd hear a dog bark. Something was barking. There was many patients that responded the same way, a sound, a tone, or like the dog barking. And it wouldn't stop for hours, if not days, right after the lobotomy or the electroshock. We'll do electroshock, so that makes a lot more sense than just the pressure bullshit going on with my head. Once again, the whole point with this video is to show a major in appliance, electronic interference, even possibly a microwave hitting the stove, or an electronical beam overdoing the stove, blowing the stove out while they're snobbing. Hey, don't mess with our family. You don't touch your family. You don't tell your family what to do. You have no right to. The system done said they already know there's abuse and neglect involved. There's symptoms and all kinds of other things that's not agreed upon. Yes, it's agreed upon that I'm not 100% right, but hey, I'm free. But it isn't just going, hey, I'm free. They also understand there's something going on more than that can be explained, so it's not technically me 100% unstable, paranoid, but there is, I'm not going to say the system, it depends on how it works. I'm not going to be attacked with that. There's people intentionally, what I was explained by that system, systematically attacking me, perjurizing, and trying to create that condition of we're holding you captive, liable, we'll tell you what to do situation. But the system partially understood that long enough 7 years ago to allow me to go free with it. But criticization of that I ain't done nothing for it, I've done plenty. I've put videos out, I've requested for police help, corruption they know of in this city, it doesn't work out. Can't ask for police help when there's direct corruption happening. Not just, well, the city's bad and it's corrupt, directly related to me. Related to not just me, like around the community, even though that's a major part of it. People from Ohio following just like people from Colorado to Florida and stuff like that in 2004 when I was hiking around the country, but a lot of my stops was in Florida State, around Florida's area, and these people was traveling out there, like a lieutenant from the police department here in Columbus, Ohio, but that would have been way back in the day. A head lieutenant and his people, and trying to utilize basically a frauding system. Oh, we got something to investigate, so I'm going to use these techniques, this production. I need to use 15 people and pay for their hotels, pay for their gas, pay for, it'd be a frauded system. Misuse, misconduction of the system while trying to utilize technique per se to investigate a crime. And where's the statute, or where's the stability of that crime? All the rest, but no matter what, jurisdictional would also get into that. But no matter what, pulling it back, showing that, yes, there's something that I could explain. I'm messed up here, so I don't explain it easy here. I'm sure if I left, at least for a brief amount of time, I'd be able to alleviate that, become more intellectually conversationable, communicatable, and connective. But electronic radio waves, radios burning out to where the radio spins, you go to tune in and it doesn't tune, electronic jamming of cameras, microwaves, situation in New York City, quite a few times. My whole body turned red. I was inside of either a store or a hallway, next to an adjacent hallway, I guess is what you'd say, and someone walking out of that place was like, what the hell? Somebody had a briefcase, a huge ass type of briefcase, and was hitting it up, had it open or put it up against the wall, utilizing some other device, so it hadn't been open, and I was burnt. I was sunburnt. When I walked in the building, I wasn't. It was still summer out. It was cool. I wasn't sunburnt. I had clothes on. So what's underneath the clothes shouldn't have been sunburnt. I wasn't red. It was cool inside that place. By the time I walked out, my face was red, my body was red, everything was red. You could touch me, I was crispy. Not completely hard red sunburn, but pink. Pink going towards red. And it stung all over. Anyways, quite a few different instances. So, not just doing this to be targeted individual, time and date of exactly when the situation happened. Maybe somebody who is up there that understands it. Hopefully you ain't corrupt involved with. I don't know how to ask this right now or pit it out, but understand what just happened. I am going to say I am positive somebody utilized a electronic device, either radio wave, I'm going to say a direct beam of electricity. Something that would also be effective like with an electrical fuse box externally, across the street, house next door, a car that just pulled around the neighborhood somewhere, viably close. And I'll also produce evidence of the shops across the street, other things that more than likely 100% everybody else is pointing to them with these devices. And it's not just, oh, we're tapping your phone. Oh, they're blowing shit up. Furnaces, hot water tanks, wash machines, refrigerators, stoves, dumb shit like that. But with that being said, be able to pick up on the ideal and help out with maybe what it is. Maybe I can get somebody to reach out to me backwards without being a whack job, you know. Things can stop, it's probably this. Hey, all I want is proof of the evidence of the devices existing. Even though for myself, years and years ago, I had websites, connections, books, and all of that shit's been like access not denied, but blacked out. It doesn't exist anymore. Of the devices that are capable of doing this. And you need a government class, technical class license or some shit to even own the frickin' device. You have to be government to be able to utilize and own or utilize that device. And they're expensive as hell. They do go up, and sometimes they ain't as expensive, because if you're government and needing that device, you must have enough money to spend for it. But books on not just mind control like you usually see, literally the techniques that they was utilizing and could utilize in like Afghanistan or against terrorists is basically what it was utilized against. Counterterrorism, implants in the brain, electroshocks, waterboarding, but even more than that, guts, implants on the stomach lining to the point it causes such severity pain in the body to adjust. The person would do anything to get rid of that pain, to adjust their mind back. And I can show you tick marks on my body. I put a video out publicly of a bug detector right here in my neck, and the bug detector goes off where it seizes, no matter what. Interference right here in the neck, where there's all kinds of shit that I can say implanted or whatnot. But by saying that, I've been scolded that, hey, that's chaotic, and I believe so. I mean, people walking around, I think I'm an MK Ultra agent. Well, that depends, but just because you believe that, because you have feelings, you need to start building proof. I'm starting to build that proof. And I just would like a hand with it, but without it, I'd also like, to say supportively, I definitely agree with those who can come up with the same things I do, that I definitely would support them. I believe exactly a targeted individual, and I won't say government class shit all the time. Maybe it's social class that the government doesn't like a person. And it's illegal, but oh well, they pick on a person. And if it ain't government, not blaming just government, people like myself. Hey, I got the information of the devices. You're supposed to have a license or government class access type of license to be able to own, operate, and control this stuff. Let's say black market. It was said on the National Security TV meeting years ago, black market terrorists have the same amount of power of device jamming, interference, wiretapping than the CIA and the NSA has. So, who knows, maybe let's not blame the government, but why doesn't the government get involved? You call the FCC, they tell you some rigged up shit, and then that's it. It doesn't work out. There's no response to it in certain places. Okay, it helped out. You found the situation, or at least I can say viably, I got somebody to come out and do some type of radio frequency oscillator scan. The same thing they did in New York City, and they found out USB jammers in the libraries and shit like that. They had a major ass oscillator, $3,000 to $6,000 piece of equipment probably plus, and they could read cell phones. They could read anything electronic, and anything that was also jamming and had jamming capabilities. So I don't have the money for that. I'm poor. I'm really poor. I'm on SSI and shit like that. Can't work because of not just supposedly implants, crippleizations, and all that, but social crippleizations that I need also help with investigators and stuff like that, which costs money. I won't give a quote again, but like $100,000 would definitely help out. Ha 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 ha. That's 3 months worth of stuff, even if I travel from one state to another to find the stalkers, the devices. That's also utilizing electronic tracking, identification of any type of jammers, electronic interference, or waves whatsoever toward my personal self, my electronic devices, account hacking, access attempts, and all the rest. $100,000, and they could do all this. This also possibly with laced jackets, clothing that would block the electronic waves that are produced, besides it being just produced at me, but even securing an electronic cell phone device for its data, stuff like that. You can buy these suits, but I won't even say but. You can get them. They're a little bit expensive, depending on what DoD grade you're looking at. You get $100 suit, it does a good enough. It keeps away solar flares and a little bit of electrostatic interference from your devices. A little harder to jam, interfere, or whatnot, even though it'll jam itself, interfere itself, because the signal can't get in or out as good. It's just reverse to what you're trying to do. But, you know, you get cheap of that. But if you're going up DoD grade type of stuff, the $100 suit, the $200 suit, jacket, and all that stuff goes up to $1,000. Goes up to $3,000 for a full suit, and on and on and on. But anyways, just figured I'd throw that out there. Yeah, I know I could buy this individually myself, but yeah, if I had the $100,000, of course it's going to cover all that. But that's also with professionalism. There's no way I'm going to put up with that. Why don't you have one of these terrorist contractors, which is also believed of partially stalking me, because of his child and the children that I went to school with or I was around or some shit, utilizing me as one of his targeted individuals? Why don't you have some other type of contractor come out and make proof of this other contractor utilizing massive amount of everything? Not just devices, social works, mind control, but not mind control, mental health, behavioral controlment, but yet you start getting into how the mind works, reverse psychology. There's books, you know, you get self-help books all the time, how to manipulate people, black spy ops, but not even getting up into that high type shit, even low-grade social assault, causing somebody to be socially harmed to the point and they can't socially get along with society because you cause, or that person caused that person to be that way, which is called social assault. It's the same thing as life-threatening. Someone putting a gun to your head telling you not to do something. It's the same thing as social death. It's the same thing as life death. The only difference is you're physically alive. Everything else, brain functions to a point, social ability, being able to operate normally or at all, is completely ceased. So that's social death. This was explained by a mental health facility here in Columbus, Ohio. And whatnot. So that's the authority kind of stake that I'm putting behind my stuff. It ain't great right now. Like I said, I'm too messed up right now. All kinds of things happening. This is another piece of cake. Microwave harness, wiring harness I replaced 5 months ago. It burned out. I had a family member come live inside the house like they needed to, and all of a sudden it's been a problem ever since she has moved in. She, however that is. Anyways, multitudes of electronics just screwed up. If not being interfered with, blown out like microwave. Was here less than a month, the microwave gave out. I replaced the wiring harness, it was burnt. Wire on it was singed. Just kind of like the stove, like an electrical current singed it. Like it arced up too high and just exploded itself. Blenders, and have I had the electricity checked? I don't know if I said in the beginning of this video, or I did it in the video that I did of the stove when it was reacting, or I was trying to get it to react. Why is that reacting out? But yes, I called the electric company and I told them there's major problems going on inside the house. I believe it's coming externally from external industrial size buildings across the street with their circuit breakers or something possibly frying out the electrical. So they supposedly put a box up on the side of the house for a week or 2 weeks. Came back. The weird thing is I believe it's the guy that lives and works with the city right across the freaking street that put the box up there. One of the suspectable people doing weird shit. But anyhow, oh, there ain't no problem. Huh. The day after they took the box off, and then a week later, after that, the electric box kicks. Week later, it kicks one more time. Then it stayed straight. Maybe 8 months, year, 2 years. It was a long time. It wasn't just normal kicking. While there's also a little bit of iteration, look at what we can do to you. Kind of like a guy that works with the city or whatever kind of associated shit. Oop, I screwed up and cussed. Sorry about that. Anyways, I'm ending this video, uploading it. Targeted of unlawfulacts.com. I'm trying to maybe put something together. I see other people going through this. I've been burnt out so bad I'm not normal as much as as much as a lot of these people's been able to hold on to themselves. Pretty helpless, pretty messed up, but I'm also not going to be taken by the system. I'll try to get legal help even though there's no money for it. Tired of getting low-grade legal help just enough to either defend life or whatnot. Defending for life and having life is better than none. But I would wish somebody that, is defending goes a little bit overdoing what they're supposed to do to help out fully. But yeah, I'm full willingly. If anything happens, you front me, I'll front you back. Probates, all this. I went through the system. They found out a lot of the probate shit that I went through. The people that was testifying to it plagiarized, lied, and then I went out and told the truth, even though I don't like the mental health system, the confidentiality of that and shit being broke. But explained a whole lot, and these people crapped themselves. They didn't think I was going to open up. The system here told me they'd go to the police, but the thing is they also understood, shit, we can't go to the police because there's corruption. There's either just family members talks, the family members and the police. If they get word of it, I catch grief or whatever happens, severity. There's other situations and whatnot. So the people that they was going to help me contact to take care of the situation can't contact because they're a part of it. I have to go on my own independently, which was explained above and beyond. And I wasn't able, I didn't have no finances back then. No job, no cash income, stuff like that. So I wasn't able to take care of the situation properly. I think it's mostly kind of expired with them producing that they was going to help me out. I can state that. There's probably statements in the records of perjury and all kinds of other wrong, ill acts being done. And somebody probably could reap it back together. Well, I need to go to law enforcement, that's correct, that would take care of this. But it's hard to make understandings out of it while I'm being incapacitated intentionally from being able to tell the truth, to be able to come forward. So, the people I'm supposed to talk to don't believe, I won't say just don't believe, can't take it. Well, first you need to stabilize yourself out. And technically that's not legally right either. But hey, you're under the force getting help or under a force of somebody else that has authority, and yep, whatever they say goes. That's not the truth. Not always anyhow. But I'm ending this video. No electronic jamming. I'm going to move this camera real quick. Usually it stutters. I'm also going to take it off the stand here. Touch the back end of it. It's normal warmth for recording a video. I've had usually when your device is being tapped or interfered with, it'll heat up extremely. Kind of like a stove that explodes. Overheats an electrical current or electrical interference, causing it to overheat because of its circuits is being overutilized. Data theft, external, is pulling data just like as if you was uploading over a Wi-Fi card. Now it's probably tremendously overworking because if I'm uploading or video recording and it's also trying to tap and do all kinds of stuff, it's overworking the phone, causing it to heat up 3 times as much. And you can tell, and that is a pervasive situation. Any device, even though you're going to have devices that heat up, but if you have a feeling, it'll be hot for the most part. That is usually a precise 1,000,000,000%. key thing to being electronically interfered, jammed, data theft, stuff like that. The device will turn hot. Wiretapped, same thing, it'll turn hot. It's utilizing external, it's like it's supposed to have one microphone, but somebody's utilizing a splice on that one microphone, overdoing that one microphone to produce to two systems. It's utilizing more energy than what it's supposed to, and it heats up. Something to the effect. Look into electronic jamming, EMI, I don't know, just a little bit of briefing of that. And if you look into what happens when a device is jammed, does it heat up? Yes. That's one of the key pieces. If you're being interfered with, more than likely happens with your devices. Back to back, two cell phones, one off or one practically off, screen off, the other one recently used, screen off. Both phones heat up in the pocket to the point of exuberation, almost probably exploding. But let's just say completely obliteratedly hot. Abnormal. Both phones, not one, but two. There goes major ass sign right there. Something's interfering, taking data, doing something wrongfully or without your acknowledgement or consent with that phone. Externally, it's a cellular phone, it's not hooked to a hard wire, your battery's there. Boom. Audio recorder, stuff like that. But I've rambled on enough. I said I was going to stop this video. I'm stopping this video. Target of unlawfulacts.com. Hopefully I can get something good up there. I don't know what I'm doing with it, but the YouTube channel is the same thing. Target of unlawful acts. Twitter, Facebook, Tumblr, quite a few other social medias. Technically, I'm only posting to say one site and allowing it to post out to the rest of these sites, being interconnected. So some information that I post, either video upload and stuff, get posted out to all these other sites when it does come out to being so. But yeah, hopefully if you want to help out with it, I don't know, I'm still a little unstable myself about targeted individual to a point. People whining and crying, and I don't want to be non-supportive, but I'm unstable right now. Maybe I can't handle another person being unstable. It's like a relationship, but that's mean to say. I don't want to come off the wrong way with that. But true people and true situations, I'll work with anybody. Not that I'm trying to work with anybody, but I'll talk to anybody. I've become insociable to the point, and like I said, incapacitated to the point of almost lost the abilities of life, especially here in Columbus, Ohio. I left and went to DC, and within 24 hours something happened to the point I was doing good. I started inclining big time, not just a little bit. That feels good. I mean, soared. So I definitely need to get out of here and figure out what the system is doing here in Columbus, Ohio. You'd think investigators, the system, the same federal programs every other state goes through. Basically, this state's more than likely, not just state, city, is going through the same thing. So how the hell are the rest of these other states helping out? And you're the only city that doesn't know jack shit. Corruption, could it be the internal stuff that I was talking about? Huh. Kind of coincidental. One problem here talks of this also being proven, and all of a sudden it seems inoperable of people trying to even help out more than trying to control, condemn, authoritate, and do whatever they can to dominate, power, force, ill situations at another person. Peace. Check it out later. Have fun. I don't know. All the good stuff most people try to intelligently say. Darn. Peace.